Welcome to this explainer. Right now, a massive, high-stakes arms race is quietly rewriting the rules of the sky over Asia. For decades, the Indo-Pacific has been patrolled by conventional fighter jets. But we're entering a totally new era of aerial warfare, one that's defined by complete invisibility, artificial intelligence, and network-centric combat. Today, we're diving deep into India's most ambitious aerospace project ever. It's called the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, or AMCA. And as you're going to see, the way India is building this jet is a total game changer that could permanently alter the balance of power.
So let's set the stage here. The airspace above Asia, it's becoming incredibly contested. Both China and Pakistan are moving fast to advance their stealth capabilities, and that is creating a very real, urgent challenge for India's defense planners. You have to understand, when neighboring countries start deploying fifth-generation stealth fighters, it's not just to show off flashy new tech. It is a highly calculated geopolitical pressure tool. It's all about establishing absolute air dominance in the region.
And honestly, the geopolitical clock is ticking fast. Right now, India relies heavily on 4th and 4.5 generation jets. Don't get me wrong, planes like the Sukhoi 30 MKI, the Dassault Rafale, and the HAL Tejas are incredibly capable. But look across the border. China is already operating the J-20 stealth fighter, and they're actively showcasing 6th-generation prototypes like the J-36 and J-50. Plus, Pakistan is expected to bring Chinese J-35A stealth fighters into the mix real soon. When your neighbors are flying 5th and 6th-generation stealth tech, relying solely on 4.5-generation platforms puts you at a massive tactical disadvantage. The math just doesn't work in your favor.
But here is where the game fundamentally changes. To counter this rapid evolution, India has officially triggered the most ambitious stealth fighter project in its history. The Defense Ministry just issued a request for proposal, an RFP, for the AMCA. And guys, this isn't just some minor incremental upgrade. No, this is India's direct, head-on answer to the 5th-generation warfare gap. Built from the ground up as a twin-engine stealth fighter, the AMCA is designed to be the absolute backbone of the Indian Air Force by the mid-2030s.
What's mind-blowing here is the sheer scale of the money involved just to get this bird off the ground. The Indian government has carved out an initial budget of over 15,000 to 16,000 crore rupees. And get this, that's strictly to fund the initial prototype development phase. Let that sink in for a second. That mountain of cash isn't for a full fleet of jets. It's literally just to design, develop, and build exactly 5 flying prototypes and 1 structural test aircraft. It really highlights just how insanely resource-intensive it is to build true indigenous stealth technology from scratch.
But wait, because here is the most fascinating twist in the whole story. For the very first time in Indian military aviation history, the massive state-run aerospace giant Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HAL, has actually been kept out of this initial prototype phase. Instead, they've completely opened up the race. 3 massive private sector consortia have been shortlisted. We're talking Tata Advanced Systems, a joint group led by Larsen & Toubro, with Bharat Electronics Limited, and another powerhouse team led by Bharat Forge and BEML. This is a seismic shift. They are taking a project that would normally be a total public sector monopoly and handing the keys over to private corporate giants.
This whole pivot is driven by something called the execution model. Basically, the strategy here is to throw the doors open to the private sector on a fiercely competitive basis. By making these private megacorporations bid against each other, the government is making a huge bet. They're betting that this fierce competition will guarantee faster development, way more efficiency, and a massive spike in technological innovation. It's a historic paradigm shift, honestly. The goal is to aggressively break through the old bottlenecks that used to slow down state-run projects and fast-track India's push for true self-reliance in aerospace tech.
This competitive model even dictates where these jets will actually be built. Whoever wins this bid isn't just going to retrofit some old factory. No way. They are mandated to team up with the Aeronautical Development Agency and the DRDO to build a massive, completely brand new greenfield facility. We are talking about a 16,000 crore infrastructure mega project spread across 650 acres down in Puttaparthi, Andhra Pradesh. Starting greenfield, meaning literally building from the dirt up, allows them to design a hyper-modern robotic assembly line specifically tailored to the crazy tight tolerances you need to manufacture stealth aircraft.
Okay, so what actually makes this a deadly 5th-generation fighter? Well, to survive against modern air defenses, the AMCA leans on 4 key pillars. First, advanced low-observable shaping and stealth coatings, basically tech that absorbs and bends radar waves so the jet just disappears. Second, internal weapons bays holding about 1,500 kilograms of payload.
You have to hide the missiles inside the jet, otherwise you completely blow your stealth profile. Third, it's packed with advanced sensor fusion and AI systems to process battlefield data in real time. And fourth, full network-centric warfare capabilities. That means this jet isn't just a fighter, it acts like a flying command center, instantly talking to drones, ground troops, and other jets.
The raw specs on this thing are absolutely formidable. It's a single-seat twin-engine fighter with an operational ceiling of 55,000 feet. Initially, they're planning to power the first squadrons with American GE F414 engines. And while stealth is obviously its main defense, the AMCA also has what we call a beast mode. Let's say air dominance is already achieved and you don't need to be completely stealthy anymore. On top of that 1,500 kilos of internal weapons, it can strap on an extra 5,500 kilograms of external payload plus 6,500 kilos of fuel. That makes it an incredibly deadly versatile force multiplier in the sky.
Now, with all this excitement around the private sector, a pretty big controversy actually blew up earlier this year. When the news broke that HAL might be left out of this initial AMCA phase, their stock prices took a massive nosedive. So let's step back and look at this impartially. What is the actual reality behind HAL's exclusion here? Was it some kind of punishment, a strategic pivot, or just a simple issue of manufacturing capacity? To really get the full picture, we have to look at what HAL themselves had to say about it.
When the media started speculating and the stocks dropped, HAL came out with a very strong clarification. They explicitly stated they hadn't received any official communication about being excluded. But the really important part of their statement was about their current workload. HAL pointed out that they already have a confirmed, completely packed order book stretching all the way out to 2032. They are up to their necks producing 180 Tejas Mk-1A fighters, 108 Tejas Mk-2s, Wright combat helicopters, plus the new Indian multi-role helicopter program. Basically, their factory lines are overflowing for the next decade. And that context is absolutely crucial. It explains exactly why the government felt they had to open the AMCA up to private players to run a parallel track.
But the biggest enemy in this entire project is time. Developing a true fifth-generation stealth fighter is an agonizingly long process. These private firms only have a few months to submit their detailed bids, and the final contract, the L1 selection, won't happen until early 2027. After that, we're looking at prototype flight testing from 2028 to 2032, and only after years of rigorous testing will series production begin. That means this jet likely won't see actual service induction into the Air Force until 2035 or even later. It is a very long road, and the strategic stakes literally could not be higher.
This entire pivot is a massive, historic leap of faith for India's domestic defense manufacturing. But here's the harsh reality. Geopolitics doesn't wait for factory lines to be built. China and Pakistan are rapidly deploying their own stealth platforms right now. So the ultimate question we have to ask is this. Can India's private sector actually overcome these immense technical hurdles and deliver the AMCA before the stealth gap in Asian airspace becomes totally insurmountable? It's a question that will define the future of the region. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and we'll see you next time.